People deluded, I'm back again. Good morning, and I hope you're all doing well and safe, whoever you are, wherever you are. Like I said, I hope you're all doing well and safe. It's Thursday, so I hope you've all had a smashing week and moved that much closer to your goals. Once again, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, depending on who you are, wherever you are. Now, today is Thursday. I hope you're all there for the Arsenal versus Benfica versus Arsenal live watch along with myself. Please make sure you check that out, or you're typing on YouTube if it's not out, to make sure you're aware. Live from 7:30. Like I said, it's Europa League mode. Our thoughts are on that. And in relation to that, obviously Cedric and Arteta have been speaking, and I think there's some interesting comments, and I've got a couple of thoughts. So I thought, you know what, why not sit down and make a video and bounce them off with you guys on the eve of this game, people. So as you lot can see here, first thing I want to get on is, Cedric has spoken on Benfica, Bellerin and Gabriel, allegedly. We're in Rome, as you lot know, travel restrictions due to COVID has made this even more of a tricky one. And apparently we might not even be able to play in Greece now because of lockdown stuff introduced there. I don't want to speculate on things I don't know yet, but that's the latest rumors. He was asked about competing with Hector Bellerin, playing left back and playing against Benfica. Now, this is an extra special tie for Cedric. Obviously, he doesn't return to his homeland, really. We're playing in Italy, but he's playing against a Portuguese side. He's a proud Portugueseman. I'm sure he's got a family that has Porto, Sporting, Benfica fans. I'm sure, you always got that extra spring in your step. It's like French players going back to play in France, or Italians playing in Italy, or, when we, previously with Leno, and in fact, I don't really know for a fact with Leno, but more so Mustafi and definitely Ozil. When these German players are playing in their country, you'd imagine there's an extra bit of, I don't know the word, but there's an extra bit of motivation, because you know that you're going to be a mad talking point. It's your countrymen, your family. It's extra special game and the rest of it. On top of the obvious, depending on how you look at it, Europa League is probably our only meal ticket into the Champions League. And I think it's understating saying we have to take it seriously, but we're at a testing period. I don't know if we're going to play a strong team in all three of our upcoming games, if we're going to see slight rotation against Benfica or against City. I don't know. We're going to have to see, but it's a testing period. When asked on playing left back, our fullback, Cedric said it's quite a different experience. Of course, I did it before, and I played there for Southampton in a few games. It's a little bit different than playing on the back, but when you play at this capacity, it's about adapting. The coach needs me there, so we need to be prepared for that. That's what I try to do, be ready for it, and to be prepared to adapt my qualities to this position and help the team achieve the best result that we can. So what does that tell you? At the end of the day, this ain't my role, but I'll do it to the best of my capabilities. I want to play games. I want to do well for the manager. I want to stand up to be counted. That's what you want to hear. In relation to challenging Hector Bellerin for a right-back spot, Cedric's done well. Cedric was a forgotten man for time at this club. And of recent, he's moved into being second choice / for me, he should be first choice fullback until I see anything different. We know it's a bit different because Arteta's playing favourites with Bellerin, but it is what it is. He said, if I believed that I wasn't going to play, then I wouldn't be in football. I came to Arsenal to help. We need to look at things like this, and I'm always available to play in whichever position the coach needs me to. I'll be ready to fight for any position the coach believes I can help the team in. And that's all you want to hear. If you play me in goal, I'll do my thing. Simple as that. And competition brings out the best, because on one hand, I think obviously Cedric's older, so he's more experienced, but Bellerin's been round the block now, and we still don't know what Bellerin truly is. And I'm personally willing to cut ties with Bellerin. It's not that I'm madly convinced with Cedric. I would like a new right back brought in, so that we don't have to speak about it in the same way we don't speak about Tierney at left back unless he's not there, or even Bukayo Saka when he feels in there. On whether this is the best route to the Champions League, he said, I think we have to go step by step. We have a tough game tomorrow because Benfica is a very strong opponent. We know about this, and we need to win. We need to first win our games and then go step by step. It's still very far away from this mathematical count. I think there's still a lot of points to challenge for in the Premier League. We'll be fighting for all of them. And it's all good. Cedric, big up yourself. Nothing to do with you, but, that's refreshing, because when I hear the other players speak, they say it in all different indirect ways and not calling a spade a spade. You've directly said that, we need to go step by step. Clearly, he's echoing what I and a lot of people feel, in that there is logic by focusing on the Europa League. There is logic in saying mathematically we can't really throw away the Premier League and the Champions League spot via that, regardless of what other teams are doing, because everybody's dropping points. We need to go step by step. And this is why I say it's a squad game. I want everybody to think like this, whether you've been playing the last 10 games in a row or you've not played at all. It's a squad game, people. And we haven't got the luxury, you know, we're not cerebral enough for me to wholeheartedly say we're going to get to the final and do the job. You already know what happens in the league, people. But like he said, you have to fight through with them. When asked on playing in neutral venues with away goals, he said it's a solution that UEFA found for the game to be played. I think it's correct. We are here to play the game. We need to be ready for it. It will be tough and we'll be in another stadium, but it's still a very nice stadium. I'm sure it'll be a good football match. Facts. When asked about Gabriel, you know, he said he's a good player. He's very strong, and I think he's helping the team like all the other players as well. Gabby has been very good since he joined Arsenal. He's a very strong and physical player. He's also quick, and we are helping each other as well. He speaks the same language as me, so it's been very good for the team, and I'm sure he'll keep growing as a player at Arsenal. Didn't mention how good he is on the ball, in my opinion. I like Gabriel. I've been impressed by Gabriel's level of English. Like, I don't truly know his level of English, but like sometimes he uploads little clips, you know, taking the mickey out of Bukayo Saka and doing little banter. And you can obviously, you'll hear the level of English in that regards. And it's quite reassuring, man. You know, I think football's a universal language, but obviously I want Gabriel to learn the language purely because he's 22 years of age. He signed a 5-year deal. You know, you're going to be here for a long period of time. Speaking English will help you off the field, and that will help it with everyone. And that goes for every player going to another country. It's like Jadon Sancho and Jude Bellingham. You should return to England or whatever, or for the rest of your life now. You should be fluent, German speakers. We already know Benfica is a strong opponent. I'm not going to bore you lot with reading that out. You can see it. He spoke on Odegaard. He said he's been excellent. He's a nice guy. He's talking with everyone. He speaks lots of Spanish, so he's been talking with everyone. I think all the team is welcoming him very well. He had a good game in the last game when he started. I think he had a good game. We won the game, so everything was positive. Right now, I just have positive things to say about him. When asked on his character, he said he's a calm person, but I think he's bringing a lot of quality to the squad, and he has been excellent. I'm sure he'll keep growing as a player. He has a big future ahead of him. Facts. If we move away from that, though, and with all due respect to Cedric, things that are of more importance to me, because I'm sure my loyal fans, I always say when we speak about the Europa League, I think this game is Arteta threw this tie away as well as the players. I think the first leg is down to the players. I think the second leg, is down to Arteta. Saying that, there was tactics he could have deployed better in the first leg. Second leg, do you remember Leno and a couple of other players switched off? Simply put, lessons to learn from there. Kill the game off in the first leg when you have the opportunity. Remain focused and do not underestimate anyone, because you kind of underestimated Olympiacos, thought it would be a turn up and whatnot, and you saw what they did, people. And so that's of interest to me. Ultimately, Arteta, as much as I like Arteta, I see that as talking, you know, the doings on the field. So come 90 minutes today, if this correlates, fair play. And it is true, though, a lot has happened since we were knocked out of such people. But like he said, I thought it was very cruel with the way we got knocked out of the competition. Football is cruel, like life. It can be beautiful, but also cruel. He said the tie was in our hands and we scored a goal, but then we conceded in the last minute of extra time. And again, that is it cruel, or are we standing in the rain and asking why we've got wet? Like in life, people blame problems, not getting at Arteta now, but people blame problems on other factors without stopping themselves. I think, you know, I don't think it is cruel for the fans. I don't think it was cruel because, like I said, we stood in the rain with no jacket and no umbrella, and we're crying about being wet. You know, we should have killed the game in the first leg, went a couple of goals up. We should have done the same in the second leg, you know, to get to extra time or the last minute of added on time or whatever it was, still being like that. That tells me you haven't done everything you were supposed to. So I'm not too sure I agree with all of that, but he said we still had a massive chance to go with Alba to go through. Yeah, obviously Aubameyang missed a big chance as well. Let's be real, but I'm not blaming him because, again, the game should have been decided before that. But the big lesson here is that but the big lesson there is that you have to play every single minute of the competition with high focus. What did I just say? Every detail matters. Every situation has to be handled. And it's about being able to manage the game in the way it's required, because it's over 2 legs, 180 minutes plus of football. The goal difference is very important, and that has to be in the back of your mind. And we're away in the first leg, so can we get a couple and complicate things? You have to be able to control your emotions, as well as be able to change the game when you need to take it to your territory when the tie is in your hands. I think it was a really tough experience for all of us with the way it happened, because I think we deserve to go through. But as well, I think that created more hunger for this season to go and do more. And we have to use that thing that we have still there and we haven't gone through yet to put more energy, more passion, and more commitment into this competition. And that's true. We're at the this season is what you make it. The season is in your hands. It's gonna be tough. The games aren't getting easier. We've got injuries, we've got bare things, but the season is what you make it. It's in Europa League is in your hands. The league position to a degree is out of your hands, but it is in your hands in a degree. It's what you lot make it. And this is why I say it's a squad game. It's down to every 25 members of that squad to stand up, to be counted, to push each other in the training ground, to show Arteta that they're on this thing. It's down to the coaching staff as well as Arteta to show that they're all on this. And of course, fundamentally, Arteta has to learn his lessons. I want to see clinicalness. I want to see hunger. Because if I look at it, we've conceded cheap goals, even when we beat Leeds. You do that across the two legs, things can be complicated for us. So I do hope we have learned our lessons. Arteta also spoke about Pepe. Now, I make a lot about rotation, and a lot of people are talking about rotation. Listen, the Leeds game's been and gone. Lacazette, Pepe played no part, Martinelli as well. So I do think Pepe and Lacazette, they're good to go for next game and maybe beyond that. And I think, that's the only sort of rotation I want to see. I know, unless obviously if somebody needs to come out, they want to come out. But I just want to see things like, all right, cool. You might play Pepe, Saka, and Aubameyang, against City, Martinelli, Pepe, and Aubameyang, or, Saka, and many different combinations for that front three. That's the only things I really want to see changed. I don't really feel we can change our midfield, really and truly, because there's injuries and whatnot. Our defense, unless it's David Luiz out for holding or Cedric moving over to right back and Tierney slotting in his natural position, I don't really think there's any changes to be had there, really and truly. Obviously, Leno, shout out to Matt Ryan, but it deserves to be Leno. But again, it's a squad game, and I'm happy to see Pepe's finally turned the corner of sorts. As you lot can see here, Mikel Arteta believes that Nicolas Pepe has made significant strides forward this season. As you lot know, the Ivory Coast international people has 7 goals and 3 assists to his name this season. The manager says there's more to come from him. In fact, the best is yet to come. Like he said here, he's had some really good matches and scored some important goals as well. And I think that has helped him for the Premier League form and the recent form that he has shown. I've seen a lot of things in his mentality, the way he approaches every training session, in his understanding of the game as well. It's true that he has patches where he's played more than at other times. He's had the opportunity over the last couple of months that probably every player has been seeking to have. But I think overall there is a lot of progress with Pepe. And simply put, long may it continue, really and truly, And I do think Arteta is hard on Pepe. And to a degree, I think it's unfair. But on the other hand, I don't mind it because there is better in there. And I do agree with a lot of what you say. And then when you play Willian, it doesn't really make sense. I will say this. I do think Arteta indirectly, when his chips are against the wall, no matter what he's done to Pepe, he throws on Pepe. When the game, when he's not really chasing the game, he doesn't really bring on Willian. And, this is what we want to see. We want to see problems in the positions. I think one place we've got good options now is in wide and attacking areas. A lot of these players are not world class, but Pepe, is it Pepe or is it Martinelli now or Aubameyang? Is it Lacazette or Aubameyang? Is it Smith Rowe or Odegaard? Is it Pepe or whatever? And hopefully Nelson can come and complicate things. I don't believe in Willian, but I'd love Willian to find his form and somehow have something to say. I think he's spoken on Willian as well, people, but I cannot actually find it. I didn't see it on Arsenal.com, to be fair with you, but it is what it is. Team news: Tierney's had a training session. Thomas Partey hasn't travelled, people. So yeah, man, he's not there. He's training individually. Tierney's part of the squad and has had one training session, and I think Tierney will put his body on the line. But we need to be sensible. Obviously, I'm not going to go over it, but Aubameyang, the whole tattoo business is being dealt with internally, and it's much like Pepe's allegations, Lacazette's. If you lot remember who else as well, somebody else got caught with something as well. Lacazette doing the gas thing as well. Willian going to Dubai. It's unnecessary talking points. Hope it's been dealt with, and that's the end of it. I'm not going to speak about playing at neutral venues, as he said that. He has, again, he's played quite coy. He's played quite coy on the Europa League meal ticket into the Champions League. We have to fight on both fronts. He spoke about Pepe. We've spoken about that, but I never saw this comment. It said, yes, the fact that we have the Europa League gave the opportunity to almost everyone in the squad to be fit and available and compete for their place. He's had some really good games and scored some important goals as well. I think that has helped him for the Premier League form and the recent form that he's shown. On William, people, here we have it here, people. On Willian, he said what he's doing at the moment, the way he's training, the way he's working, the way he's willing to give everything to the team is what I demand. Fair play. If you think he's training well, cool. But I just don't think it's a good message. Fundamentally, you need to do the business on the field. And I think other players would take their opportunities. Whether he's more successful or less successful in the game is another matter. No, it's not, Arteta. It's fundamental. Obviously, when someone's not in form, testament to Willian, people get at him, say he's on a lot of money, he's past, he's got no motivation. To hear he's still training, well, I'll give him that. But fundamentally, all that matters is what you're doing on the field. All that matters is what you're doing on the field. That I hear all the training stuff, but all that matters is what you're doing on the field, and you're not doing that. But true say, if you're training well and you're doing the right things, you should have an uptake in form, such as the balance of life. He said, it will come with the quality that he has, but this is what I demand from every player: a full commitment and to put the passion in everything that they have in every training session. And when they have the opportunity to play, and so far, Willian has done that every single day. Okay, so application is one thing. It doesn't matter about, do you feel Willian makes you stronger in your commitment to get 3 points? Ultimately, I don't think so at the moment. On if the criticism of Willian is unfair, this is where I saw it indirectly. We're going to see what he's really made of now. He said, I don't think it's unfair because with Willie, interesting name or interesting nickname, with Willian, I'm going to say, pause, the expectation is really high in terms of the goals that he can score. I don't know if he's bantering us or not, people, because Willian isn't a prolific goal scorer. But what I will say is he definitely should be doing better in the final third. He definitely should have a goal for Arsenal. He definitely should be looking like a 30-year-old Brazilian international Premier League winner, the highest capped Brazilian in the Premier League in terms of appearances. You're not looking like that, is it? It's as simple as that, people. He's not looking like that, and that's the danger you're always in. That's the problem you're taking, and this is the problem that Edu and Arteta knew when they signed him. He needed to hit the ground running. We heard Premier League proving it hasn't happened, and it's an unnecessary elephant in the room when you've got a £72 million player that you cannot really keep justifying leaving out. When you've got Saka's emergence, when you've got Aubameyang playing on the flanks, when you've got Martinelli in the wings, when you've got other players, the Nelsons and these guys, you can't really justify this. William, we thought minimum he'd be a decent squad player and adaptability and able to play across the front three positions and be forced to play as a striker, which we have tried. You've tried him as a striker, a false nine, it was dead. You tried him as a cam, it was dead. You tried him on the left, it was dead. You tried him on the right, it was dead. You've played him significantly, he's been dead. Like, it's as simple as that. And there's no exit clause. There's nothing wrong with getting signings wrong. It happens, but it's about exit clauses or where you get out of that. He's on a 3-year deal. He's clearly got something in his contract that makes it a financial burden if he's not included in the match day. Why else would he consistently be there beyond the obvious of what we're stating? So it's a difficult one, and you're gonna have to pay up. You're gonna have to end up doing what you've done with Mkhitaryan, Socrates, Mustafi, Mesut Ozil, and Cole, in paying up his contract. And I don't think they're gonna write him up after a season. I think Edu and Arteta have to hold this as an L. Of course, I want Willian to turn his form around. Who doesn't? My opinion is Willian's not good enough. He shouldn't have been signed. But I care about my football club. If Willian can turn on the form, it's good for me because he might score goals. He might win us games. He complicates things for who starts. Everybody has to rise their game up a bit more and more. So the criticism is justified. I will say Willian's, I don't like scapegoats in it, and I do feel sometimes when players are not liked by fans, they do run the risk of becoming a scapegoat. Don't get twisted. 9 times out of 10, Willian is playing poor. But I definitely think, not last game against Leeds. Who was the game before Leeds? Was it Wolves? I could be wrong, but if you listen to all the fan cams after, or just spoke to people, and I was looking at in my live chat, in my watch along, all I could hear is Willian this, Willian that, Willian the other. I was thinking, Willian's not a good player, but you can't get at him today. He's not involved in the madness today, really. So he runs the risk of that. Ultimately, I don't see how he helps us on our cause. I'm sure he's good for the young players. I'm sure he's fat in well. I'm sure there's going to be an uptake in form, but it is what it is, man. He needs to up the weight. He needs to up it. But the manager's defended him. It's his guy, people. On whether Willian could be involved against Benfica, well, he's part of the squad, so he's got a good chance. So, yes, he is going to play some capacity. So let's hope, we've learned our lessons from Olympiacos. Let's hope there's an uptake in form. Let's hope Arteta knows what to do. Let's hope Pepe is on job and gets to start. Let's just hope that we, have a convincing win and give ourselves something to... because, it's in our best interest. If we can win the first leg comfortably, you could potentially do some rotation against City. Not that you should rotate against City. It gives us something to build upon. But on that note, people, there's nothing more to add. So I'm going to get out of it. It's always a pleasure. But for now, people, DG, I'm out. comment, subscribe, follow my socials. Please make sure you follow in on Instagram and Clubhouse in particular, Deluded Guna 04. I'm out. God bless.